installHUB.com. Streamlining your installations.
Hello, another week, another podcast, but it's a brand new month. It's Friday the 2nd of June, so let's see what's been happening in this very busy industry. Starting with this news, France has opened its first electric vehicle battery gigafactory. The plant is expected to create 2,000 jobs as France aims to be self-sufficient in the vehicle battery production line by 2027. Based in the country's former mining heartland as part of the Emmanuel Macron's reindustrialization plan. 3 government ministers and numerous local officials attended the inauguration of the automotive cell company ACC Gigafactory near Lens, seen as the first step towards France challenging China's dominance in the sector. ACC, which is equally owned by Total Energy's Jeep maker Stellantis and Mercedes-Benz, has received a £1.3 billion package of state aid from France, Germany and Italy as part of a £7 billion plan to build a string of new facilities across the countries. Now, whilst it's great we're creating all of these batteries and of course moving over to EV, research has found that 30,000 tonnes of end-of-life EV batteries are at risk by 2030 in Australia alone, so that's another problem that we're going to have to try and sort. BP Pulse is upgrading the charging network across its home of Milton Keynes. EV chargers across 14 locations in Milton Keynes, including Bletchley and Bradwell. Also, Wolverton have received an upgrade by BP Pulse after around 25 legacy 7 kilowatt on-street units reached the end of their service life. BP Pulse, based in the city, has also announced it is working with Milton Keynes City Council to deliver a second phase of 7 kilowatt and 50 kilowatt installs. The company's headquarters are located in Limford Wood in Milton Keynes, where the company has played a pivotal role in the development of EV charging infrastructure for over a decade since the first rollout of the public charging in the area in 2012. BP Pulse's infrastructure has been instrumental in keeping EV drivers on the road, and if you are an EV driver, you'll be very familiar with BP Pulse. In other news, Elon Musk has said with Tesla he will allow Ford cars to plug in at 12,000 sites starting next spring. Tesla earlier announced plans to invite other EV brands to use at least 7,500 charging locations by the end of 2024. Opening Tesla's garden will alter the ecosystem that has sprung up outside its gates. Specialist charging companies such as ChargePoint Holdings, EVgo services and Electrify America have been competing to serve cars made by a variety of manufacturers. Everyone will get affected in some shape or form if Tesla's charging network continues to grow and reach more types of vehicles. Tesla is seeing the opportunity of where the market is going, and they know they have a good charging service. They now obviously think that they're ready to provide that for all vehicles. I mean, we know they've definitely got the money to back this, so Elon Musk could possibly take over the world. Now, Range Rover drivers, they've got a little bit of a stigma attached to them, don't they? And it doesn't help either that they are perceived to be diesel-guzzling monsters. Well, that is no more. The Range Rover Velar will be relaunched as an electric vehicle as part of a wider overhaul of JLR's lineup. Production of the new Velar will take place at the car maker's Halewood plant, which is being reconfigured to produce cars based on an all-new EV platform. JLR expects to start production of the new Velar before 2025, according to Autocar, and I, for one, cannot wait. A big fan of the Range Rovers and a big fan of EVs, so combine the two, I know it's going to have a very, very hefty price tag, but I think it'll be worth it. But for those of you who aren't a fan of a big price tag or a range, these are the 3 brands every shopper should consider first if wanting to get an EV. Now, first coming in at number 1 is Tesla, followed by Kia, then Hyundai. Mercedes as well, if it's in your price range, is definitely up there, but Tesla does hold the top spot as the overall winner, mostly due to its unparalleled supercharged network. But Kia and Hyundai are increasingly turning buyers' heads with their striking design and their lower priced options compared to Tesla. Kia and Hyundai do share a parent company along with the higher end Genesis brand and run on the same sophisticated battery technology. But when it comes to luxury, interior and a high-end feel, Mercedes is coming out on top. It offers 5 EVs, the most of any brand on the list, and also there is a mix of sedans and SUVs. Mercedes also stands out in its mission to convert its lineup to 100% electric by 2030 and its investment in building a charging network powered by all clean energy. So those are the 4 apparently leading here in the UK if you are thinking about getting an EV. Now, although Ford hasn't made that list, they're being quite clever because they're focusing on Uber instead. They're offering a flexible EV lease. So Uber drivers can take out a 1 to 4 month lease on the Ford EVs like the Mustang Mach-E. The program is launching in California to start out, with view of being rolled out if successful. There are other benefits as well, according to Ford, that they're yet to state. So solar energy is forecast to be the world's largest single source of electricity by 2027. Here are 5 of the most exciting recent developments in the sector. So firstly, we have solar energy, which is harvested in the sun-blanched dunes of the Sahara Desert. It's set to power millions of homes in Britain and Europe. Egypt is planning to link a 3-gigawatt solar farm in the Sahara to Greece via an 850-mile cable by the end of the decade. The power delivered by the Gregi interconnection cable will serve grids in Greece, Italy and Bulgaria. Second thing going on is the space-based solar, which is edging closer to reality. The European Space Agency, the ESA, Solaris project is seeking funding from its members to states to explore putting giant solar arrays in orbit, each capable of generating 2 gigawatts, which is the equivalent of a nuclear power station. Number 3, we've got solar car parks that are now mandatory in France. New laws have approved by the French state in November meant that it is now mandatory for new car and existing car parks with spaces for at least 80 vehicles to be covered by solar panels. Car parks with up to 400 spaces have 5 years to comply with the new measures, reducing to 3 years for sites with more than 400 spaces. Deploying solar in car parks comes with the twin benefit of harvesting energy whilst also shielding vehicles from the sunshine. We've also got solar panels that are being taken up here in the UK. Data is showing that we're doing extremely well this year, with the first half of 2022 alone surpassing the whole of 2021 for solar panel uptake. And fifthly, in Berlin, we've got a mandate solar for all new buildings. The Berlin solar law has been several years in the making and is expected to save 37,000 tonnes of CO2 within the next 5 years. The move has been backed by the £21.2 million Solar Plus programme, a subsidy scheme helping households and businesses meet the cost of PV panel installations as well as battery storage. Now that's just mentioning 5. There's a lot of movements going on at the moment, and all of them, more importantly, are helping to make the planet a greener place. So as solar is the way forward, there are plans to build a solar farm set to power 10,000 homes in Worcestershire that has been revealed. The proposal by Tyler Hill Renewables would cover 91 acres of farmland near Sultan. The solar panels would sit 3 metres off the ground, allowing sheep to continue grazing. Tyler Hill Renewables said the scheme proposed to the council is to cover a 40-year period. The closest solar farm to the earmarked site is one near Cothridge, about 3 miles away and approved back in 2015. A plan to build a 50-acre solar farm nearby was, however, turned down by Malvern Hill District Council back in January. Almost 300 objections have been made against the plan, which has also attracted more than 180 messages of support. In other news this week, scientists have broken a world record for solar-powered window materials. Scientists have achieved the new world record for a next-generation solar cell, which holds the promise for novel applications like building integrated and window solar panels. The breakthrough follows 2 years of research from the Hong Kong Polytechnic University into organic solar cells, which until now have been too inefficient and costly to be used widely in practical applications. The research team invented a new technique to boost the stability of the OSCs, achieving a power conversion efficiency of 19.3%. And finally, I asked you podcast listeners this week, do you find the use of artificial intelligence, in your opinion, concerning for the human race or incredibly helpful and needed? 40% said incredibly helpful and needed, leaving 60% saying concerning for the human race. So that's all from me as ever. Thank you for partaking in the questions that I ask via our social media. That's installHUB across the board. Be sure to find us on the socials and give us a follow. And do also be sure to like and subscribe and tell your friends about this podcast. I'm bringing you the latest industry news every single Friday at 12 o'clock. So from everybody here, you have a fantastic weekend. And remember, we're always helping you to streamline your installations. Be sure to check us out and see how our software could help save you time and money at installHUB.com.